Alright, so we already did a carburetor inspection. Just a quick on this thing to show you. Now that I got a way to hold the camera and all that, we're gonna, like I said, it seems like y'all don't really like to watch more than a 5 minute video, so I do this in a couple clips and try to keep it as short as possible. Before you do this, you're gonna want to clean off around the top of the diaphragms. If you want to go nuts and clean this all and polish it, by all means do so, but the main thing is you don't want dirt falling down. And this one we already popped open. If you follow me on Facebook, you've seen it. And I do believe that I did a YouTube post about it once again. Handy dandy magnetic tray. I happen to know, because I had a little peek in this, that the carbs in this aren't really that bad. Some people, when they get into these things, they get super intimidated. And there's just no reason to be. If you understand the principle of how this system works and what is important, then you'll pretty much get of it. Now, keep your fingers on top of this. There's a spring in here. It's going to want to make everything go bling, so be careful. Okay, this right here, very gentle. Very gently. Because if you tear this, you're fucked. It's your diaphragm. He's not in bad shape at all. A little crust on it. That'll clean off. Now let's see what you're looking at here. Down inside the material, as you can see, she's pretty clean. Just want to get in here, clean out around this. Wipe it out real good. You want to clean this off. And you want to put it back together. You're going to repeat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to repeat that. It ain't really much to this. Inspect the needle. There's a little bit of corrosion starting on it, but there's no wear. So this is still usable. You just want to clean this up on here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pop off the rest of them. I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to put them back together. If I come into anything funky, I'll let you know, but give me a second here and then I'll show you what you got to do on the rest of this. Alright, so here's a good example of a good crusty, dirty top half, your diaphragm. Alright. So that'd be, the first one you saw wasn't too bad. This would be one that really needs cleaned up. And same with the inside of this housing. Now, what you got to pay attention to is right here and right here. Let me see if I can maybe get it in a little better focus for y'all. Please excuse the shaky camera work. Well, let's do it the hard way. Those two holes right there, they're air passages. So compressed air, all that, you don't want to get any schmutz down in there. The way I do it, and like I said, everybody has their own way, but the way I do it, take you a rag like this. And what I do is I soak the rag with some carburetor cleaner. Get it good and moist. He said moist. And then I just kind of get in there before I do anything and just kind of daub up this loose stuff with a rag moistened with this carburetor cleaner. Helps to have a set of mechanics picks, and you can just ensure that the air passages are clean. Or if you really want to be a cheapskate, you just take your wire brush here and pick out a wire. That's steel. We don't use steel in carbs. We use plastic first. If that don't get it loose, we go on ahead to the brass. But like I said, we got the heavy stuff out of there, so you want to just kind of work around it like this. You can use your pick to kind of force that rag around in there and just kind of daub up any of that. It's like it's corrosion, man. It's like fucking rust powder. Oh, and I've been trying to curb my enthusiasm on the swearing. Sorry. And as far as cleaning these diaphragms, same deal. Take your rag and get it wet with some cleaner. And you want to be extremely gentle with these because they tear easy. And you just kind of, you know, really gently just clean them up. The carburetor cleaner is going to soften these things up. And that's a good thing because they need to be soft to work properly. There you go. That's all you really got to do. Inspect your needle, make sure that's clear and clean. You're going to set him off to the side over there. Really gentle with that. This guy here, the way I'll do this, I'll give him a little shot. Cleaner. And then I'll take my brass brush and just everywhere where that diaphragm's going to sit, that whole area, you're going to get that all good and clean so that when you put it back together, it's going to seal properly. There we go. Now when you put this back together, I mean, a lot of this goes without saying. When you put this back together, this is where your spring goes. It holds the spring. And if you'll look right here, this is where your diaphragm, you know, you got a little cutout right there. That cutout is going to ride right in there, and then that goes there. You know, you put it back together the same way you took it apart. Now, in order to clean this booger out, I am going to plug this a little bit with this rag so that I don't get crap down in it. And I'm going to basically little goes a long way with this stuff. But you get the gist of what I'm doing. You know, I don't use compressed air. I don't have a compressor. I guess you could, you know, it would work just fine. I've been doing it all these years this way. And this is kind of like a quick and dirty way. Just cleaning up the carbs. We're going to get the bike running again. Well, folks will call this rebuilding a carburetor. I don't consider this rebuilding a carburetor. We're going to replace some seals and we're going to replace some floats in the back half of this video. Alright, now that we got that clean, we'll go around the outside with it. Right on. And there's a little schmutz down inside her. See, it got in there anyway. Give her a flush. Okay, I'm just going to puke everywhere, so we'll get a rag under there, clean that up, and then we'll take a nice shiny clean rag here, and the same thing. Just going to get in there and get that cleaner, and kind of just absorb it up into the rag. I guess microfiber might work better for this, because it doesn't leave any fuzzies, but, you know, I get these hella cheap, and, well, they've been doing the job for years, so. We put this back together. Sometimes it can be a little booger. Let me wipe this diaphragm down one more time. There's still a little schmutz on it. And we don't want that because that can affect sealing. Okay. Like I said, you put this back together, match this. Just remember to be very gentle with it. spring inside your cup. And this is how I do it. Works for me. Get your spring down in there. Kind of keep it straight. And the way I do it, I just keep my thumb on it. And then I'll go on ahead and insert the screws. Wants to be a double. There you go. Until you get one or two of them started. And that'll keep your spring in place. It's not going to bling across your garage and cause you to say all kinds of words that, well, that'll make this video not suitable for children. You know what I'm saying? Tighten these down. Kind of like you tighten down a 4-lug car rim. Kind of do it in sequence. Best you can. I don't know. And you don't kill them. These don't gotta be that tight. My man who did the other carbs with the red goldwing, you know who you are. I know you watch my vids. Had a hell of a time getting some screws out. These don't gotta be kilt. See how I'm doing that? Just with a couple fingers till it's snug. Get them all snug at the same time. The idea is you want this to settle down on there nice and flat so that it seals, doesn't kink any gaskets. And then you just give them a snug like that. Maybe a quarter turn, I don't know. You'll feel it. Snug, that's all they gotta be, snug, okay? Alright. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to doing that. I just felt like it would be important to show you all that. I'll show you the bottom part in a little bit. Alright, so this here is a Chinese flea bay carburetor, quote-unquote, rebuild kit. I've yet to open it, so I'll open it with you guys. We'll see what we get here. It's for 4 carbs, and it was only, my God, I think 22 bucks. So this is not going to be the highest quality, but it'll work for the girls we date, right? Main thing I was after, the needle valves inside these carburetors, which we'll show you that in just a little bit. Get rid of that. Is I wanted to replace the floats and the needle valves as well as the gasket around the bowl. That's all I was concerned with as far as carburetor, quote-unquote, rebuild. Oh, alright. Good deal. Smile, dear friend. Thanks for your purchase in our store. It's an honor to get your praise and encouragement. If any problems, please communicate to us before case or return. We would appreciate if you could leave us a 5-star. Of course you want a good freaking review. Oh, look at that. I'm special. Hey, look, man, the doctors told my mom I was special when I was a kid. They said I was artistic. I'll be damned, I never could draw, though. Oh, wait. Sorry. Had to. Let's have a look, see what you get in here. Oh, alright. They got them individually bagged. That's good, and I like these bags. I really do. I keep these devils because screws, nuts, bolts, stuff like that. I love to keep these around when I'm taking something apart and put all the screws in there, and then you know you got them. But I'm really digging this. I am. We got O-rings. We got jets. We got springs. We got new screws. We got a new needle. I like it. We even got this little teeny tiny filter. We got a main jet. We got a new needle valve. We even got this guy right here. This guy's your pin for your float. But as I said, what I was mostly concerned with, these guys right here, I wanted to put in new floats and these gaskets right here. Now, If you're watching this, you know how much I hate corn squeezins in my gas, ethanol. I hate that bullshit. Well, the one thing that I noticed that on this eBay seller, these are nylon. Ethanol's not going to hurt this. Sold, you know. So let me tear the carb apart. I'll catch y'all in just a minute. I'm going to show you how we're going to do one of them. Then I'm going to go on ahead and do the rest. And if I have any problems, I'll catch y'all and I'll show you what's up. But here we go. We're going to do one of these first. We'll start with this guy right here. Once I get it apart, I'll fire you back up. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. I know y'all don't like to watch long videos, but I'm trying to be as informative as I can. And I'm hoping that somebody like me is going to take on this project. Like, when I started doing this shit, I had no clue what I was doing. I bought myself a manual. I sat there and read the manual. I had to take stuff apart 3-4 times and put it back together before I got it right. I still do that sometimes now. You don't always see that on camera. So, you know, hey, we're just showing you what to do here if you got an old Goldwing and it's been sitting forever and you're afraid of these carburetors, before you go the route of going online and everybody telling you, oh, well, here, do this single carburetor setup. Look, man, you don't got to be that intimidated by these. They're not that complicated. They are, but I'm showing you mainly what you've got to do to get the bike running right again. And if you do that, trust me, you'll be okay. Alright, so we've got the bowl off. You look down in it. Yeah, she was starting to get cruddy. And right here is that gasket that I was telling y'all about. And you're a cheap set of picks. You're going to use this to pick the old gasket out. Did they give me the right damn gasket? Yeah, they did. And the new gasket just stretches down in there. But you got to get this stuff out of here. So, yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm smoking. Let me extinguish this cigarette for this part. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little carby cleaner and our brass bristled brush. You can see that carburetor cleaner just melts that stuff. And you got to get down in there. You got to get all that sediment out. I'm just going to brush it lightly. Let it soak for a minute. Some of it, you'll get some stubborn spots. Don't be scared to take your pick in there and just kind of scrape it around, loosen the stuff up. And then I'm going to take it, dump it right here on the floor, since I have a dirt floor in this hellhole of a garage. Give it another blast. Wipe her out with a clean rag. And what we've got is a clean carburetor bowl. And then, like I said, you take your pick and you get down inside there with your pick, pop out your gasket, put your new gasket in. That's the bowl assembly. Now, over here, we're going to do is, you can see this pin. I'm going to take my pick from this side. We're just going to float that little pin over just a tickle. And take some good old needle nose. I'm going to grab this pin and just pull it out. Okay. And very gently, we'll lift our float and our needle valve out at the same time. And we're going to inspect. Hopefully that's coming in view. This is actually quite reusable. We are going to put a new one in since we've got one. And basically, your float, your needle valve is in your kit. If you can see how this works. This little clippy doohickey rides on here. Set it back down in. Once your floats are in place, your new pin just slides in, and that's it. While this is apart, we're going to clean off this seal. I can see down in there, these are clean. These jets, I know for a fact these jets are not plugged. In the case that they would be, you can remove them and put new ones in. Check to be sure they're the same size. It will be stamped on the jet. It will be. If they're the same size that your kit comes with, just replace the new ones and you're good to go. No worries. These ones I know are clear. You could take a little piece of wire or your pick or, you know, and just... There's a little teeny tiny screen in there, so unless it's plugged, you don't really want to go forcing. But I know these are clean, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, put it back together with the new floats and the new needle valve. Essentially, you're going to do that to this carb, this carb, this. You do the same thing over and over. The only time you really got to go any further in this is if you got one of these jets plugged. And if you're not sure, blow some air in the sucker. You know, it's if you really want to get into it, you can take these carbs off, then you'll be able to see the jets from the other side. But I know that they're good. So you could take and shoot a little carb cleaner in here and then look down through the top and see if it's draining through. That's really all there is to it. When people talk about, I'm rebuilding the carburetor. As long as your jets are good, not broken, they're not plugged, the only god dang thing you got to do to rebuild it is replace this needle valve. The seats can get hammered. This is the needle seat. This is the inside of that, and that's that part in there. You can change that. This carb don't need it. I'm only doing this because I don't want the float bowls to leak, and I don't want a float to stick. I don't want a needle valve to leak. I'm doing it to make my life easier. I could have just, after the initial inspection, bolted this right back on the bike and ran it. But my back's hurting a little bit, and we just really do not feel like going through the rigmarole of laying on the floor and wrestling the engine out of the bike. We're going to save that for another day because my arthritis is just really killing me today. We're going to do the carbs today instead. But anyways, yeah, that's your carb clean out and whatever. We'll do a synchronization when the engine's running, and I'll show you how to use one of these right here. Your carb synchronizing kit. It's not hard. I promise you, it's not hard. It's easier to synchronize these 4 carbs and make it run properly and tune them. It's easier to do that than it's ever going to be to put a single carb on this bike. I promise you. We'll get into that later. This is the end of the video for today. I'm going to finish this up, and if I come up with anything funky inside here, I will fire the camera back up and show you what's going on. But yeah, this is your carburetor clean out and, quote, rebuild video.